all new. AM 1150 WTMP.com.
Alrighty. Happy New Year, Tampa Bay. Glad you made it. For those who are here with us today, if you can hear us, I'm just saying, if you can hear us, then we don't have the technical difficulty that we thought we had.
We're live.
If you can't hear us,
Don't worry about it.
Call in and let the engineer know you can't hear us. Okay. So I said I would make the announcement. So we start the new year off right.
Officially.
Facebook Live. Hey, how you doing? All right.
Welcome
Tampa
all.
Bay.
Share and like, please.
I guess I need to say a couple of words. My good friend Sean Shaw just left, and it was a couple of things because I kind of listened to his show on the way in. So I'm driving, so I can pretty much hear some of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff, and
He's a good mix.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I have a undergraduate BS degree in microbiology.
And I have a degree in just BS.
Okay, so one of the things that goes into some of the vaccinations, vaccines,
okay.
is heat killed virus.
So it's dead.
So they mean they take different strains of the viruses, kill it, and then put it into several different solutions and give it to you. That's usually what vaccinations are. Now, one of the problems, and since I'm kind of, like I said, I'm carrying over, so I ain't started my show yet, so I give you the info when I start my show.
But keep it on, folks.
Yeah, but one of the issues is for black folks. For this particular vaccine, there wasn't a lot of blacks in the clinical study.
They know better.
I'm just saying. So they're pretty much hoping that it works on you the same way it worked on all the white folks and the other folks that was in the clinical studies. They don't know for sure. And I ain't trying to scare anybody off. I always tell you this show is about information.
Information. Okay, let's go.
If they don't have a whole bunch of black folks in the clinical studies, they don't know how it's going to work on you. Usually, they probably got, a couple 100,000 white folks that gave the vaccine and had no reaction or some reaction or whatever the deal was. It's good. White folks. They had 10, I'm just pulling the numbers out my butt. They had 10 or 15, black folks. That's all they got in the clinical trials. Then that's a pretty poor sampling for black folks and how it's going to react to black folks and how black folks are going to react to the vaccine. I am giving you basic information. I ain't trying to help you. I ain't trying to scare you. I'm just giving you information. You need people in the studies, in the clinical studies, to judge the reaction of the vaccine. Whether it's effective, whether it's not effective, whether it got side effects, all the stuff that go with it, all the medical, legal terms that's involved in the process. For black folks, it wasn't. Unless now, you can go read something and call me and say, Eddie, we had, 200 million black folks. Okay. Okay, in the study.
No.
That
Not
okay,
that.
if you say it, just give me your source and I look it up and I say I was wrong. But all the information that I got so far says there wasn't that many colored people, blacks or Hispanics,
Well, Eddie, and we were told initially that blacks are more prone to catch the virus. We were told initially, it started off with blacks, and they said, well, minorities in general are just more prone because they're just not as healthy. So if that's the case, why would we be the first in a lineup to test anything if we've already been told we ain't going to make it? And we already know there's a 15 to 20% kill rate with these vaccines. We know that already. They told us, they were honest about that. So why do they think if they're going to, yeah. So Eddie, this just sounds like bull. And we know already Dr. Fauci's made up some things along the way because he wanted to push the vaccine. We know the CDC is a for-profit.
Yeah,
well, we know it's a for-profit organization. So they got to make money somewhere in the process. And the fact that Dr. Fauci on CNN said, yeah, I kind of made up some numbers there because I wanted to push the vaccines because herd immunity will work. And Eddie, we've been around a long time as a society in general and as a peoples, all different groups, and we have survived many a virus. We can't be in fear of every virus that comes down the pike, Eddie.
Well, one thing I got to say, and then I go ahead and start my show, is that black folks as a population have been through some pretty serious stuff.
And experiments.
Now, all of a sudden, we got these weak immune systems and weak this and weak that, and you got everything known to man.
Just not as strong.
Ever had. And, me looking at it, I'm just saying, taking common sense and looking at some of this stuff.
You mixing it up,
and I'm saying that a population that has went through some of the stuff that black folks have went through over history. The reason, they say, well, your immune system is weak, or you this or you that, because you got sugar diabetes.
Yep.
You got the sugar. And you're fat and you're overweight and you got high blood pressure and you got this and you got all those diseases, but and you're smoking you're smoking cigarettes and
drinking
and the
carousing
the marijuana and and you got a lot of drunks, you got a lot of habitual bad habits, period, and your population's still around. So the concern, is that I personally, I have never had a flu shot.
I never had any.
I'm gonna just tell you, I personally have never had the flu. Now, if I was getting the flu every year, I probably would take the damn shot.
That makes sense.
I'm just saying.
But you're not.
I've never had the flu, and I worked in a hospital for 20 years. So I didn't take the shot because it pretty much wasn't, get rid of something that was a nuisance to me.
But Eddie, you just didn't know. You weren't educated enough to know.
No, I'm educated to understand that back when I was in kindergarten and when I was in first grade,
my goodness,
that they were putting
Cowboys and Indians,
putting stuff in people's arms that didn't show up for 10, 15, 20 years. Those inoculations that they did back then had cancer
60s
in them that didn't show up. They was dormant for 15, 20 years.
Are we working there too?
So that means you didn't get the end result. And I heard Joe kind of talking, about, what's the life cycle and the life, what would the long-term effect.
They don't have a clue.
We will not know
until we survive
the long-term effect of this coronavirus inoculations that they're doing now. We won't know this year.
No, in fact, Eddie, those that have already gotten the vaccination, they've had some ER nurses that have gotten it, and they caught COVID the following week. So, it's in fact, Dr. Fauci has come out and said that the first rounds of these vaccinations going out, it is not going to prevent or block the symptoms.
No.
He said that.
Well, the body don't work like that. The whole idea is to give you something, have your antibodies in your body, develop the right antibody so that when it sees these cells again, it will destroy them. Your body will destroy them.
Eventually.
It ain't the medication. It ain't something
It'll be
that
next
they're
generation.
going to give you. It's something that they give you that makes your body stronger. So when your body sees it, it identifies it, and it's got something to defend you with. That's the whole process. Okay, this is the Porch Talk Radio Show.
Thank you for joining Medical Hour.
I had to put some information. Again, there's a lot of bogus information out there.
A lot.
I had to give you something
Coming from the media.
that I know for a fact, based upon 20, 30, 40 years of study and research and some of the basic understanding of how some of these things work. And some of you guys may not know that. Some of you guys may know it. Some of you guys may not. But I can't assume that. And the fact that a whole bunch of black folks ain't lining up to get the vaccination,
neither Hispanics,
to get the shot, and the brothers in the barbershop, we had that same discussion in my barbershop too. Matter of fact, it was nobody in the barbershop I went to because I told them I ain't taking it. I'm like this. 2 years from now, if I'm still around, if the COVID ain't got me, and you guys are still taking the shot, by that time, herd immunity will be in effect.
Yeah, it will matter.
And it'll be just like the flu. It'll be, I ain't had the flu, I ain't had the flu shot. I ain't had the COVID, I ain't had the COVID shot. That's just me. It don't work like that for everybody. Some of you guys are real sickly, and you may need the COVID vaccine.
Now remember, what's in the vaccine is what you've been hiding from for the last several months.
Yeah, they're gonna
the virus.
Yeah, they're gonna give you the virus.
Hello.
Yeah, the virus is in the shot. So that part of the whole process. Now, what else they put in there with it?
We'll never know.
Like I said, back in the old days, they had polio, they had diphtheria.
But Eddie, they can't be sued either.
They had all kind of stuff. That was taking folks down. Matter of fact, they had stuff that was killing people by the hundreds of thousands. They had folks that was killing kids. Diphtheria. Diphtheria was bad. It was a time when they had smallpox. Smallpox killed over 60 million people in a year.
So Eddie, were those called diseases or viruses? That's the same thing.
Well, it's a big difference. Some diseases are caused by viruses. Some diseases are caused by other microbes. Some diseases are caused by fungi. So disease is one thing. The cause of the disease is what we're talking about now. Yeah, we're talking about virus.
Okay.
Because smallpox was not a virus. Back in the day, actually, there's some strains of the smallpox that were a virus. But they had the Black Death, which was the plague.
Oh yeah.
Which was carried by rats.
But Eddie, back then you didn't have to test to see if you had it.
Well,
now you got to be told you have it.
Well,
now you got to test to see if you have it.
No, they knew you had it.
Yeah, but nowadays,
kind of like Ebola. Some of those things had signs and symptoms. Ain't nobody had to tell you had it. You knew you had it. And that's the thing that's so funny. The death rate for this particular virus is not the same as Ebola.
Not at all.
If you had Ebola, you couldn't hide it. If you had.
But this one's so bad, Eddie. You got to be tested to be told you have it.
Well,
that's what they tell us.
Some people are sick. Now, I'm not playing that down 1 second. I'm telling you, some people have been sick and some people are sick.
Yeah.
And people are dying.
But that's just the regular flu would do anyway.
No, I'm trying to tell.
This is the different strain of flu.
I'm not playing it down. And I'm not
the
calling
flu
it
kills.
the flu. Because they ain't cured the flu.
50 to 60,000 people a year get killed by the flu.
Evidently, they get.
Unless you're in San Diego.
They don't have a cure for the flu.
No.
They don't have a cure for the cold, but they got a cure for the corona. So
which came up in how many months, Eddie?
I'm just trying to make sure people understand what we're talking about. Okay.
Come on.
Porch Talk Radio. That's what we're doing now. Hello, Tampa Bay. We're back, and I've been kind of listening to the shows today, and none of the traditional stuff. And at the end of the year last year, the last show we did, on my way out, we had 4 callers on the line still waiting to get on. How do you avoid that? If you need to call the show, call during the show. If you wait till the end of the show, and there's 8 people on the line, and I'm trying to get through you guys as quickly as possible. Well, it's possible that I may miss some of you, and some of you guys get caught up and get stuck, and the show's over with. So don't wait to the last minute.
But state your point and hang up, please, so we can answer and get to the next person.
Well, again, we can't have people. This is a new year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Year.
so if you got to add something to the show, it can't be something that I just said. You can't call and say, well, so and so and so. This is my opinion. Well, this ain't quite that kind of a show.
Uh-huh.
I give my opinion because I got to do something. I got to talk to you for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got something you want to add, because the show is about information. So if you're gonna do something,
give us a source
and inform us and inform us and make a difference, and first of all, have us believe you. See, because everybody who called the show with information is not believable.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll hear something and just like Facebook, Twitter, and
well, if it's on the internet, Eddie's got to be real.
And some of these other sources, it's bogus. It's fake news. It's Trump. It's Trump. Trump called it. So anyway, that's my first time saying Trump this year. So I just
look out.
We almost we 2/4 of the way through. That's a half. Almost halfway through the show. Before Trump name came up. Okay. If you want to call in during the show, the call in number we got calls already. I'm at least get this part of it out. Okay, the call in number is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. If you want to call in during the show, you wait to the end. If you get stuck on hold when the show goes off, it's your fault, not mine. You want to call me during the week? You got something you want to say, something you want to complain about? Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone 813-230-3312. 813-230-3312. You can email me at Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, porchtalkradio.com. Eddie at porchtalkradio.com. Gabriel.
Folks, as we kind of come to the new year with lots of information for you, I always bring lots of information to you guys. If y'all find something doesn't quite line up, please call me with a source and let me know. Hey, I ran across this, but I heard this, I read this. Always feel free to call me at 727-238-5311. I promise, like Eddie, but I will not call you back if you're going to complain and whine like a child. If you have a source, great, we'll talk. God bless.
All right. So, okay, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio 2021. How are you? Where are you calling from, and what say you? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that when Trump gets drug out of the White House in 20 days and goes to prison, he's going to end up in the infirmary, man.
Okay, cut that fool off. Cut that fool
Thank
off.
you, sir.
This is a new year, so I'm telling you right now, you have had the kinder, gentler Eddie Adams. But if you call like that, I want everybody to know right off the bat you're a fool. We ain't gonna listen to it. Okay? So anyway,
Moving on.
For everybody else, one of the things that's gonna be different, this year and with the new administration is this is 2021. It cannot be worse than 2020. I'm just saying, 2020 is going to go down in the annals of histories, I remember when I was in first grade, I remember when I was 20 years old, when I was 30 years old, no year got labeled the way 2020 did. And I mean, it may be worse. It can always get worse.
Always.
I can't
With
say
liberals in charge, Eddie, it's going to get worse.
Can't get worse.
It's going to get worse.
But some things you guys really gonna have to think some of this stuff through, because the New Deal, where they're trying to get rid of oil, and they're trying to get rid of coal, and they're trying to get rid of fossil fuels.
Eddie, windmills don't work. They went out in the 1800s.
Well, they got windmills, but the problem with the windmills they got now, every 6 months they got to put 60 gallons of oil in the windmills to make them work. So
They're not gonna have any oil.
So at some future date, when we stop producing fossil fuels, when they don't produce fossil fuels anymore, you're not gonna get oil. Now I'm gonna tell you something else that may be sad, for some of you guys to know. Plastic comes from fossil fuel. So if you stop producing fossil fuel, everything in your life that's made out of plastic,
Your cell phone.
could disappear. I'm just saying. I'm saying, I'm giving you information. Because a lot of people, you look at it, oh, fossil fuel, you just drive around gas and diesel fuel and oil. Okay, no. See, you're not thinking this stuff through. And them people in Washington D.C., stupid. I'm calling names. I usually don't call names. I'm just saying, they're not smarter than you because they get elected to office.
No.
That do not make them smart. And you got people with degrees that are not smart.
Oh.
They get degrees that make them smart in one area in particular. And like folks don't realize that Albert Einstein was a terrible speller. He could not spell worth a shit. I'm just saying. Now, he was a great physicist, mathematician, but,
Spelling was not it, huh?
spelling was not his forte.
Okay.
I'm just saying, because you're smart in one area, don't make you smart in everything. So again, these folks who are saying, get rid of fossil fuel. You get rid of fossil fuel, you're getting rid of plastic. You're getting rid of oil. You're getting rid of lubrication. Every lubrication that we got except for silicon, and silicon to some degree has fossil fuel involved in its production also. So none of that stuff, graphite. Graphite is lead. That's that comes from coal. So so you have to think about it a lot of how much of this stuff, if you stop producing fossil fuel or you reduce it to a certain point, your life is going to be miserable. So some of this stuff, people selling an idea. They selling it because they think it sounds good
on paper
for you to hear. It's political. The reason they made Kerry pretty much the environmental czar. That's not his official title. But that guy got like 20 houses, 6 jets, 1,000 boats, now that may he got 10 boats, 10, 15 boats, a couple of yachts. Okay, that guy is the last guy that you put in a slot to tell poor people you can't buy this car you've been working your whole life for.
Eddie, what about contact lenses and just lenses on glasses? Are those made out of plastic?
Mine are.
Okay, so we'd all be looking.
My frames are. Everybody's frames are, and some of y'all glasses are.
And we know half people listen probably blind.
Well, again,
Without glasses.
What I'm saying, take a deeper look, in consideration of what these folks are selling you, because some of it, literally, is they selling you on the idea that they will never be able to do. But it's politics. So with enough propaganda and with enough of them telling you and enough of you believing what they're saying, and you taking it for granted that they ain't lying to you, even though they're lying to you. Look. Okay, let's take a look. And I'm saying Biden. Okay, it definitely took me half a show to say Biden.
There you go. Good old Joe Biden.
It's a lot of companies that already got their plans to move out the country. Because they're not going to pay higher taxes. They're not going to do it. Poor people ain't got no choice. Rich folks got choices. If you got enough money, okay, let me tell you something that I heard, something that I read last week. Billionaires. Oh, folks, y'all bit the dust, COVID kick you in the butt. Billionaires made 30% more money off whatever it was they were doing in 2020 than they had in the last 20-something years. They got richer by far, almost double their wealth in 2020. So what I'm trying to tell you, rich folks are not affected like poor folks are. And I ain't got to tell you that because you guys already know that. I'm just saying the reason a lot of this stuff is going on, a lot of times people are selling stuff. Rich folks get rich off of poor folks. That is a fact.
Well, Eddie, and it's listening to finding out, okay, so who's coming up with these great ideas? Like Mr. Yang, who wants to be the mayor of New York City. He's going to be running for that position, I heard. He's going to throw some money into that one. He has a lot of great ideas on tracking people, and whether it's the chips, through injections from the vaccines. And it's like all of these really wealthy people have all of these great ideas on what to do to you, the commoner.
Hell, Visa can track people. You miss a payment.
Oh yeah, they'll find you. That's for sure. They got that cell phone. They'll track you. In fact, your phone, if you have an Apple phone, it always has GPS on. If you have an Android, you can actually cut the GPS off. But if your Wi-Fi is on your Android phone, it'll track you just as good, if not more accurate, than if you had your GPS on Android. So if they want to find you, they will. But the people that are giving all these great ideas on how to track you, the commoner, are always the wealthy. They always got these great ideas, and they want power and control over you because you're too stupid to figure out that if you sneeze, you need to go wash your hands, and if you're busy having a cold, common cold, you need to stay away from people for a little bit.
Yeah.
They believe you're just too stupid to figure that out on your own, and just like Key West on New Year's Eve night did a 10 p.m. curfew on all the restaurants and bars out there. Why else would you go to Key West? There's absolutely no reason to go on those 4 blocks on Duval Street except the bars and the restaurants.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing else out there, folks.
Yeah.
So be aware.
Okay, we got a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on 2021. I've had to write it a couple of times, so usually take me a couple of days for us to actually write 2020 or 1010 or
we're 21 now, Eddie.
whatever 2021. So 2021, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Who are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, yes. You said go ahead. Yes, my name is Dan.
Welcome, Dan.
Hi, how you doing? I want to answer that caller who called up and said that Trump had about 20 days, you cut him off. I'm going to admit I'm not going to be as rude, but I am. I'm not a Trump supporter. But I want to ask you, Eddie, are you willing to admit that Donald Trump lost the election?
Nope. No, I'm not.
Never.
Until they wait. You asked me a question, so I'm gonna answer it. Okay. Until they swear in the new guy, the battle is still on. I'm this. Until the fat lady sings, until the mule cry, whatever it is that had to happen. It was so much shenanigans. Went on during that election. To I don't care if you won. But the way you won matters, and it matters to a lot of people. So if you call the gloat, okay, cut this fool off. So if you call the gloat wrong time, that show happened a month ago.
Yeah.
All the guys, I made the announcement. If you call the gloat about the victory, good. Call, vote, get it in.
Move on.
I'm not gonna cut you off and let you have your say. This is not that show.
Mm-hmm.
You missed it. You missed your chance. If you want to call and gloat. That was 2 shows ago. Now, if you got something to add, which I just got through saying, a couple of minutes ago, if you got something to add to make the show different, call in and we'll talk about it. We'll have the discussion. But what's not going to happen is you're not going to call and use this platform that I'm paying for, to shoot a bunch of crap out there because at the end of the day, unless you're providing some new information or something that's going to help the community or something that's going to make something different, improve, something for the better, not going to happen. So anyway, and like I say, the kind little General Eddie Adams Jr. went out with 2020. 2021, you got the new guy. So thank you.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Okay, we'll take that break and do on this day.
On this day, let's see what happened in 2021, the 2nd, right?
Yeah, on the 2nd, January the 2nd, January 2nd, 1788. Georgia became the 4th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution.
Georgia, wow, who would have known?
So Georgia was one of the original 14, the original 13. I'm sorry, I'm like adding another state there.
Uh-oh. Don't come up.
He was one of the original 13 states. On this day, January the 2nd, in 1872, Brigham Young. Now I know a lot of you guys have heard of Brigham Young.
Oh, yeah.
Brigham Young, the 71-year-old leader of the Mormon Church, was arrested and charged with bigamy. He had 25 wives.
Today, we just call that swinging.
You don't marry all of them, though.
No, that's true. Well, you thought you can.
On this day now, but
back then.
Back then, that's how this was.
I'm good on a 41. I can't imagine 25.
Was developing. So anyway, and he was 71 at that time.
Ooh.
Okay, so on this day, January the 2nd, 1879, Thomas Edison began construction of his first generator. Yeah. On this day, January the 2nd, 1892, Ellis Island opened as America's first federal immigration center. Annie Moore, at 15, became the first person to pass through.
Wow.
Yes. And last but not least, January the 2nd, 1893, the first commemorative postage stamp was issued. So.
And that was the last time the Postal Service was within budget.
That's the last time it was efficient.
Yeah, we've since given them billions year after year after year for their mismanagement, and we still keep doing it.
And they're not part of the federal government.
No, we just give them free money, Eddie.
A lot of people don't know that. All right, Gabriel, your 2 minutes.
You know, folks, it's been an interesting COVID time as we go forward into the new year, where we've learned a little bit more about COVID, and as we listen to the people that are supposed to be informing us, controlling us, making us healthier, hopefully, keeping us safe. We have the WHO chief scientist, Dr. Samuya, who said, I don't believe we have the evidence of any vaccines to be confident that it's going to prevent people from actually getting the infection and therefore being able to pass it on. And she would kind of know what she's saying, right? The WHO doesn't have evidence that the vaccines prevent people from transmitting viruses to others. The WHO has warned it does not have evidence COVID-19 vaccines prevent people from passing the virus on and require the same precautions as people without the jab, such as quarantine. The WHO chief scientist keeps talking all these conversations. This last one just happened after one of her recent remarks. The media questioned whether the vaccine was going to help people. And Dr. Fauci has backed it up, saying early vaccines will not prevent the symptoms and will not block the infection. So why are we being used like a pincushion? Now, if Florida has no mask mandate and California does, why does California have so many more cases? Isn't that just weird? Of course, the early pandemic, Fauci repeatedly claimed 67% herd immunity was required to achieve herd immunity. Beginning around a month ago, however, his estimates drifted higher to 70, 75. And more recently, telling the news media 80, 85, maybe more. Why has this been changing? Because he said, I wanted to push the vaccine. Now, in the New York Times, New York Post, this recently came out, nurse was suspended after stripping off her PPE to have PP with a COVID patient. So I guess...
PP?
Yeah. She decided she wanted to jump on his bones. So I guess the COVID didn't quite scare her enough. Meanwhile, the Oregon governor, Kate Brown, threatens to have the Child Protective Child Services take the children away from salon owners who do not do the lockdown. So now the government's coming after the children take him over, basically. Now back to Dr. Joseph Mercola, who has recently come up with asymptomatic persons. Aren't those called healthy people, Andy?
Yep.
Asymptomatic, yeah. Asymptomatic, the healthy ones. If they test positive using a PCR test, are highly unlikely to be contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he's a doctor who's been experimenting with this stuff, he might know something is going on. Meanwhile, 2 Minnesota state lawmakers are calling for an audit of the death certificates that were attributed to corona, because they're saying they believe they were inflated by 40%. Isn't that weird? Now, of course, to achieve world government, this is from the WHO founder, to achieve world government it is necessary to remove from the minds of men their individualism, loyalty to family traditions, national patriotism, and religious dogmas. Wow, that's still going on today, folks. That is still going on. Meanwhile, you keep saying that me not wearing a mask is killing you. It's been months. How much longer will it take? Abortion's leading global cause of death for 2020. It took out 42.7 million were killed. Let that sink in, folks. 42.7 million were killed. Unborn babies killed in the womb, according to the data by Worldometer, as of December 31st, 2020. Wow. And how many you have from COVID? So much less. The flu is no longer popular. Everything is COVID. San Diego, mysterious disappearance of flu, is in call for audit of COVID death in San Diego. San Diego had no flu death last year. There's usually 50 to 60,000 noted by the CDC, but last year it was a miracle. They all went away. Facebook shuts down fundraising for both Republican Senate runoffs in Georgia. Gee, only Republicans. There's nothing suspicious there, folks. Nothing at all. Meanwhile, Jobs' wife, ex-wife now, or widow wife, it's not right for individuals to accumulate massive wealth. Well, by the way, she's worth $27 billion. But again, they've got all these great ideas. If you go to a party in Chicago, you will go to jail because of coronavirus. But if you're in jail, we'll let you out because of coronavirus. Yep, that's right. She's a Democrat. That's all I got, Eddie. Just random stuff.
All right, Gabriel. Okay, we got a caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday in December 2021. It's 80-something degrees outside. And unlike any January, I think they set a record a couple days ago. Anyway, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Hey, my name is Willie.
Hey, Willie.
How you doing? Hey, Trump lost the election, man. You fool. You dumb Trump, Uncle Trump.
Okay, cut that fool off. Okay, so today, okay, we went all year and we didn't have 3 of those. Now, that may be a sign to what this year is going to be.
Eddie, they may have to put a button in here for you. You just hit the button. You don't have to tell anybody. Just push a button.
Yeah. I don't mind telling somebody, because if you call this show, you can't, get butthurt if we cut you off when and I said, at the beginning of the show, how it's going to be. So if you don't believe in us and you don't understand how that works,
we'll teach you.
We will teach you. That's right.
There you go.
You'll get herd immunity.
Boom.
Love it.
So love it.
That's how that works. You'll get it. You'll get it the old-fashioned way. So
that still works. Old school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. We had one item that was on our agenda at the end of the year last year, and I said we're gonna get to it at the beginning of the year this year. So, and I know more people know about this situation and this circumstance than me. I just read the article. Matter of fact, I got a copy of the article. Mm-hmm. I heard a lot of buzz, but nobody's talked about it today that I heard on TMP. Mm-hmm. So, Tamara Schamberger claims Henry Shake Washington wasn't eligible to run for a school board and claim the victory. Ooh. That's pretty much what the headline for the article said. It was saying that Tamara Schamberger was arguing that Henry Shake Washington, should not have been allowed to run for that seat. The lawsuit, which was filed November 23rd in Hillsborough County Court, Schamberger argues Washington was ineligible to run for the District 5 seat because he did not live in the district at that time. He qualified to run for a seat in which he did not live in. Now, the lawsuit also asked the judge to rule that she is entitled to be certified as the winner of that race because of the residency snafu. Now, okay, it's a lot of stuff that goes on, and this is local, and everybody locally got their own opinion. Everybody locally, he won, she got the hell whooped out of her. I don't care what your opinion. There's in the old days, there's something that's called right and wrong. You knew, and I'm saying this, and again, I'm not trying to start anything because it's already started. It's a lawsuit. It's in the court. So all this stuff,
public information.
All this stuff will eventually come out. In Orlando, Florida, there's a U.S. congressman that was in office for years. And this guy didn't even live in the state of Florida. I mean, you got some range because, to qualify to run for U.S. Congress, all you got to do is be a resident of the state. I can live in Tampa, I can live in Orlando, I can live in Miami, and I can run in any of those counties for any of those districts to run for U.S. Congress. The residency requirement were a citizen of the state. Now, the school board, the residency requirements are different. City council, the resident requirements are different. County commissioner, they're different. State house, state senate, all of them got residency requirements. It sounds to me, I'm just saying, and what the article says is that Henry Shake Washington's wife's mother had a house. The house was in the district. Even though he had a wife that he had been living with, I guess built or bought outside the district. And that's where he was living.
This is splitting frog hairs.
Except when he filed to run for the school board slot, he said that he was actually living
with mama
in the district where the house was of his mama or her mama. And this lawsuit saying that technically, I'm saying the lawsuit, technically, he was not qualified to run, so therefore, he could not win that seat.
Because he was not technically eligible.
He was not eligible for that seat. And in school board and city council and all that stuff, the residency is important. Because you're representing a district that's supposed to affect you and your living and your family and all the stuff that goes along.
But he didn't want to do that,
with you being there.
He didn't want to do that.
The district he actually lives in was won by someone else. And he didn't run for that district. And someone said, again, this is not in the article, but someone has said that would have been a much more difficult district for him to win. Now, again, everybody knows in Tampa, we got one black on the school board, one black county commissioner.
That's allowed.
One black, a city council member, one black representative, one black state senator, with the whole, district thing.
That's what's allowed.
Single member district thing, So that being said, now that don't stop him. He could have ran in a district that wasn't minority black, and he could have won.
But did he play the race card to his advantage?
Well, what he did was he ran in a district he thought he could win.
So with a name like Schamberg, that doesn't sound like a black person's name.
The people in the hood know who she is.
Okay.
She black. she black. Everybody. She's not new. She's already been on the school board for 4 years.
So she has a legal right, you're saying?
Well, that's why she took it to court. As opposed to the court of public opinion. Which Sheikh Washington definitely won. He won the election. By several points. He beat her. He beat her fair and square. Her claim is that he shouldn't have been there. He wasn't qualified to be in that race.
If she's following the law, Eddie, we want our politicians to follow the law as best possible, preferably all the time, whether we're looking or not. It sounds rather cut and dry, the fact that Sheikh knew what he was doing, because he's not a stupid man. I'm going to say he's probably very well educated, Eddie. Sheikh's probably a well educated guy.
Well, he's been in the system for a while. He's been in the system
so
for
he knows politics.
40 plus years.
So he's good. He's a bureaucrat. He knows how to run it.
Well, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. So he wasn't innocent to any of this. It was not a oops, I misunderstood. No. He was working it. He's playing it, and she might be the one to bust his butt and say, you know what, you're wrong.
Well, let me say this. Let me say it like this. It's a knowledge-based system.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're planning to break the rules...
And that's what Sheikh did.
You got to know how to do it. Now, there's some stuff that he's doing that was questionable.
Oh, boy.
And because of that, there's some issues. So I guess that's why they're in court. And we got a caller, so somebody's probably calling to correct me. Somebody said, make it official. I'm just, and like I said when I started this,
read an article.
I'm just reading the article. So the information I'm giving you now comes from the article. The stuff that I say didn't come from the article. It's me pulling stuff out my butt. So anyway, all right. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Yeah, Joe Robinson calling.
Hey, Joe. What's up? What's up, my brother?
We from the defendant's motion to dismiss, if you really want to know. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Washington Schamberg fight, so I'm quite sure people respect my legal opinion around here. I just want to tell you that that's a big wish. There's Supreme Court case law and all kind of law. And basically, a person's intention of making a legal resident. So it's not, and what Sheikh did, he did a year out. He got address that he moved and gave up his home citizenship, did all that over a year before he ever qualified. Okay, that's the first thing. So the second thing is you look at the case law, and there's plenty of case law on this issue. It's what the intent of where you want to, anything you want to stay over on the garbage can, and you got the address for it, that's your intent. That's where you stay. That's where your fix is going with your present intent to make a permanent location. So you don't have to, you married in, you know for a fact that if you stay in a house, both people can have the homestead, or one can have the homestead, go buy another house and have another homestead. You just can't have two homesteads for one person. But you don't have to have one homestead, you know. So now, if you got 41 home and you 40, you can have another homestead. You just can't have it in both people's names. You got to be individual. So this is what you call a nuisance lawsuit. And the only thing going to win on this is legal fees going to have to be paid to somebody for going through all this nonsense. And the last thing that the case law shows is that you got to really have such strong to overturn the will of the voters. Okay, and that's what Trump having problems with his lawsuit, because the will of the voters. Knowing that from having sued Sam Oreo in 1999, knowing from having filed in 2000 when Bush v. Gore, I was the one before had the only potential lawsuit for the Republicans at that time, when the General Counsel covered to hold on to your lawsuit, Mr. Robert, we might need you, because you filed it timely, so nobody else knew to file it timely, but they didn't need it. So I just want to say this is a nuisance lawsuit. It's going to go there. So we'll see how the court throws it up. But my research on the law and reading the defendant's motion to dismiss, you need to read it, Eddie. Defendant's motion to dismiss, filed, and I give y'all a case number. Case number 20-CA-009190, and the Honorable Cheryl, what's her name? Cheryl Thomas?
Yep.
Black lady?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the truth. If you want to look it up, it's public record. Knock yourself out. Okay?
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it, brother.
Get a little bit more legal ease. But that's what I do.
Thank you, brother.
Happy New Year, brother.
God bless.
Same to you. Same to you. Well, I told you guys somebody was gonna call who knew more about it than I did. So.
And I think he kind of basically stated that there's just more, obviously a bit more there, because does Shake have to physically live in the place, or can he just claim it as homestead and never live there?
Well, at some point in time, we'll get a judgment, or we'll get it kicked out, or whatever it did. So the court system will work through. It will do what it do, and then we'll get a conclusion. Okay, we got another caller, so let's get the other call online, because I told folks call before the end of the show. So caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Yeah, Eddie, would you sleep with Ivanka?
What?
Would you sleep with Ivanka?
Okay,
Time to cut this fool off
please.
and block that number.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. That officially makes it more already today than we got all last year.
The fools lined up.
2020 was a bad
They
year.
are lined up.
But for some reason or another, now I hope that's not an omen. That's not an omen.
I rebuke that.
For the rest of the 2021, because 2021 got unlimited potential.
Oh, big time.
2020 is dead and gone. Now like I said, we got more crank calls today already.
You think it's Willie Lawson?
Than we did. No, that's some white guy.
Okay.
We got some. I can tell the difference.
Love you, Willie.
Now, and black folks can speak like white folks, but they have to try.
What you talking about, Willis?
They have to try, So again, that guy wasn't trying to disguise his voice. He was just stupid. So anyway, so
that's a Schamberger case. When's that going to finally file out, you think?
No, well, all the stuff has been filed. So again, like I say, it's got to work its way through the system, and win, lose, or draw, we'll know the results of that, and that's going to affect, one way or the other, who's sitting on the school board. So if she's declared the winner, through the fact that he was disqualified, then guess what? I guess they'll swear her in and she'll take a seat. If not,
so two old politicians going at it basically.
Well, he wasn't officially a politician. He's ran before, but he hasn't won before.
Okay.
She was a sitting school board member, so she's the ex-president of the school board.
She knows the system well.
So they both knows the system.
If both of them can help the system.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing about it is, and this is what I was saying, and Joe knows and Joe understand this. There is a proper process by which you change and declare residency and all that kind of stuff. The trick in this particular lawsuit is going to be how much of that stuff Shake knew and how much of that stuff he did, and when they do the smell test, is it legit?
Well, Joe made it pretty simple, saying that, hey, he can claim home exemption. She can claim, his wife can claim home exemption.
Again,
two separate things. Well, that's pretty cool.
But that ain't the way the system worked, though. So, in order for this to work out, he's got to have done that whole thing right. Again, it's in court. So somehow, some way, They will fine tooth comb this thing and come out
And
with,
people wonder why politicians are not trustable.
and come out with some results. And again,
Car salesmen more trustable.
Now let me say this: everybody who loses an election don't act like this. I heard somebody say, "Oh, yeah, this like Trump." Now, Trump is now the official. Everybody who lose, the new example. Again, Trump, when the guy asked me to admit something, this ain't that kind of show. I don't have to admit anything to anybody.
For Trump or Ivanka or anybody
Yeah,
else.
the nature of this show is this is a community show. It's a platform in which we put information out for the community to help make the community better. You don't have to agree with anything I say. But as a rule, and I just want to make sure everybody understands this, since I pay for the show, it is my platform. It's not yours. So what's not going to happen is you're not going to call in and take 20, 30 minutes of my time that I paid good money for your bull crap.
Well, Ed, if you remember how this goes,
Don't do that.
you got to be able to pronounce it correctly.
You're expendable.
Woo! Look out.
You're expendable.
Look out. I want my check in advance next time. What check?
Well, you're going to get that $600 from the government. See, just put my name on it. So
Exactly.
Before you cash
yeah, they couldn't give us 2,000, but they could give other countries hundreds of millions of dollars.
Technically, I heard you're supposed to be getting another check. So some people have got their $600 check already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's already said, done, and in the process. Ain't nothing they can do about that. Now, some people will get supposedly another check for $2,000. So that means instead of $2,200 from the government, you're gonna get $2,600 from the government.
But Eddie, if we're trying to have the government figure us out, we already know that too many dead people are going to get that $600 check and that $2,000 check and the $2,600. They're going to get all of it. A lot of dead people, Eddie. So we know that the people that are needing it.
If they can vote, they can get a damn check.
And we know a lot of dead Democrats are going to be getting checks left and right.
If they can vote, they can get a check. So
I pray I don't die and vote Democrat.
So I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. They're gonna get that check. Somebody's gonna cash it, and at the end of the day, whenever the federal government decide they want some of their money back, they're gonna find out who got them checks, who wasn't supposed to get them checks, and then somebody's gonna be knocking on your door, and you either pay the money back, or you're gonna take a ride downtown. So I'm just telling you, at some point in the process, when they get through with all the other stuff, they're gonna need something to do. They're gonna say, okay, well, let's go get our money back.
Eddie.
And they do that.
You're talking La La Land because if the Democrats get in power, they're not going to care about it. And they're going to start bidding on the Green New Deal.
I asked some of them people in jail right now about the Dropbox. The people who was taking people.
No, the media don't want to talk about that,
Eddie. Who were taking IRS's checks and people who were filing people's Social Security and getting paid. And they got away with it and were buying cars and houses and all that stuff. And then one day somebody knocked on their door. But again, it was good while it lasted. And that's all you got to remember. At some point in time, all good things come to an end. And with that, I'm going to say, Tampa Bay, good to be in 2021. We love you. And until next week, at the same bat time, same bat channel, bye-bye.
God bless America.
We love you. Bye-bye. See you.